What's up, guys? We are here at Treworgy Family Orchard. Today's their grand opening of Cut Your Own Christmas Tree. I'm super excited. It's cold, it's snowy, it's the Christmas season. Let's go get this. So when you first show up, you can come into this cool little shack, let you choose what you want on your own custom wreath. And that way, after you get your tree, you come back here, they're gonna bail it up for you. You head inside here, and you pick up your wreath. It's pretty awesome. Let's check it out. Now, does this work for just wreaths?
I think you could. I think this could go for a lot of different things. I think you could give it a try. Some other.
Do you think we can do in the beard?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do the beard.
Okay, great.
Let's see. Let's make my. Where's my order form? Some frosted pine, and then actually, I brought some from home too.
Oh, did you?
Can we use some of these?
Oh yeah.
I brought that from home.
Yeah. I think it could come out.
So
well.
where's your beard dressing station?
Oh, I think we usually do beards right over here.
Well, let me get this set. All right, so now that we've checked out where the wreaths are made, we've got a little bit of beard decoration. I think it's time to head down and just check out the trees a little bit more. I mean, it's just so gorgeous. Look at this place. I mean, if this doesn't look like a Hallmark movie, I don't know what does. And I've seen them.
Excited. I actually I don't know if I told you this, Jeremy. This would be good for your vlog. So I grew up doing Christmas trees as a boy because my grandfather had a tree farm in Freiburg, and so I lived in southern Maine. And all growing up, every weekend between Thanksgiving and Christmas, my parents would pack us all in and go up and help my grandfather sell trees. And I didn't like appreciate it too much when I was a kid because I'd rather be like spending time with my friends. But my grandfather passed away a few years ago, and my dad just sold his estate and house and tree farm in September on a Friday, and the next day on Saturday we sold our first tree doing the pre-tag and reserve trees. So the day after my grandfather's tree farm was sold and another guy took it over, I started my own trees here. Nice. And so it just felt like, that's the way it should be. And so it's fun. I never thought I'd be doing trees. Right. Growing up, I always tried to get out of it.
Yeah.
But here I am doing it again, and I love it. Christmas is my favorite time of year.
You hear that about?
All right, so we've picked our tree. We had a chance to chat with John, one of the owners here, and just an incredible place. The sun's going down, it's getting a little cold. The hot apple cider is definitely worth it, but right now I want to go have a donut. And I want to see where they're made and how they're made. And I want to bring you guys with me. So just give me a second, we're going to go do that. try that.
Okay.
I think this will
good.
work.
Good.
All right, Patty, so I really appreciate you having me today.
Yes.
But I was telling these guys that I've been here a whole bunch. I've checked out the trees, I've checked out the corn, but I don't know the history.
Well, I am here to tell you about the history. My husband and I started the farm because he was a merchant seaman. He was a deck officer and he went shipping for the first 6 years we were married. During that time, we had our 2 oldest daughters. We have 3. And the kids were growing up without a dad. So he decided that if there was anything in the world he could do, he wanted to start an apple orchard. And we spent a year looking for land, and this was the only piece of land that met all of our requirements. It is close to the top of a hill, it faces south, and the soils were good. So we bought this land back in 1983. And he continued to ship for a couple more years. In 1984, we planted 1,400 trees. And then we started the main part of this building. This building has been added onto several times. So this is not how it looked originally. This was just the barn and the workshop. We put the tractors in here. And in 1985, we built our house and we moved out here. So that was the beginning. When we bought the land, all it was a field with corn stubble. There were no buildings, there were no trees. There was a tiny, tiny pond that we didn't even realize was a pond until after we had started working the land. We planted our first trees in 1984, and those trees all died in 1989. And we ended up taking all those trees down.
That's devastating.
It was at the time, but a few years later, 1991, I just thought about it and realized that it was a good idea to start, and I wanted to try it again. So in 1991, we started with about 500 trees and decided to go with the dwarf trees, and they come into production quickly. So for the next few years, we planted till we were up around 1,200 trees, and in 1995, we had our first crop. And we advertised in the Bangor Daily, and
Nice.
People came out, and the family was here, and people would go and pick, and they would have a lovely time. But one of the issues we discovered right away is with the dwarf trees, it was so easy to pick. It didn't take hardly any time at all, and people were having such a good time. They would ask for what else can we do, and they gave us suggestions. And one of the suggestions that we heard was when people buy their apples, they like to get their pumpkins. So the next year we tried a very small pumpkin patch. We got one good pumpkin, but we discovered we could do it. So the next year I think we planted an acre. And so we started with the pumpkins, and then the next thing we put a gift shop in here, and we started doing tractor rides down to the pumpkin patch. We started collecting animals at about that time. My daughters were getting older, and we started with sheep. We got a llama, we had rabbits, we ended up with goats, and then a horse, a couple of horses. So that's how the petting zoo started. And then 2000, we thought an ice cream shop sounded like fun.
It always sounds like a good time.
We put that in. We started with the corn maze in 2001, and we had heard about corn mazes, and we had the opportunity to go and visit a corn maze, and we just kind of looked at the outside. We didn't really do much research, but we thought we can do that. So we came up with our own plan, our own design, and in 2001 we started our first corn maze.
What was your first corn maze design?
The first design was a kernel of corn. So it was a lot of curves.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, who's an architect, designed it, and he just used a lot of arcs. And that's how they laid it out, with just arcs. But we got the trails,
incredible.
and we learned a lot. We learned that if you have dead ends in your corn maze, people will trample them down. So our corn maze has evolved. We don't put dead ends in anymore. We've got different stations in there that people have to find.
Yeah.
And then in 2009, we had the opportunity to buy some land across the road. It was becoming very obvious to us that people enjoyed what they were doing, and so we would fill up the parking lot, and we just knew we needed more space. So we were able to purchase close to 200 acres across the road. About 50 of it is in fields. And so in 2009, we purchased that land and started planting Christmas trees in 2010. And so the trees that we are now harvesting were planted 8 years ago.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and you know, you have to care for them and do all kinds of things for them over that time. We've got, and then a few years ago, I'm thinking 5 or so years ago, we planted strawberries. So we now have, across the road, we have Christmas trees and we have strawberries. But we've the business has evolved because we felt it was really important to listen to what the customers were interested in.
Yeah.
And customers have told us that they enjoy coming here, they enjoy the experience of coming here. And so we've looked for ways to make a really positive experience and make it something that people will enjoy doing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So that's a full circle right there.
Oh, yeah.
So not only this year did they get #1 corn maze in the country.
In the country, yes.
Which is phenomenal.
Yes.
8 years of looking ahead, and now today, it's today, right?
Today was the first day we had people
opening.
come in and cut down Christmas trees.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that's really exciting to see because, you know, the whole family has been involved and we all go out there, we all dug the holes essentially by hand, and then we fill the holes in with our hands and water them, take care of them. My son-in-law Matt has done all the trimming and the cultivating, so there's a lot of work that goes into it. About 4 years ago, we started making our own wreaths, and we sold wreaths, but what we discovered was people really want to have experiences. So we kind of thought about it, and we thought, you know, people would enjoy making their own wreaths. So we decided to start our wreath workshops. And you can go online and sign up, and you can come and we provide all the tools, all the materials, and instructions so you can come and make your own wreath. And there are a lot of people who think that that's just so much more valuable than going to the store and just buying one.
Well, you've got people like me. I went down and I saw your wreath hut, which was awesome. They even decorated my beard, which I was quite excited about. They work for both, just so you know.
All right, that's good
but
to know.
I don't even know where I would start to build a wreath. How would I?
You start with the basics. You get a ring, you get the tips, you get the wire, and you start wrapping. But we have people who will do all the instruction and show you how to make a beautiful wreath, a double-sided full wreath. And you get to do it yourself. It's not hard. And then when you're done with the basic wreath, you go and find the decorations that you like, the bow that you like, and so it's truly your wreath. You make it yourself. Cool. So we have felt that people wanted that experience, and it has been very successful.
How many of those class sessions are you going to do?
Probably for the next 3 weeks, we'll probably do at least a dozen. Matt could tell you better, but 3 or 4 a day, and we're open on weekends, and we're probably going to try some evenings, like a Friday night or even a Thursday night, depending on demand. So if people call and leave a message that they'd like to do a special group, we can work with them.
That's so cool. It's the holiday season. The reason that we're here at the farm, the reason that we're out playing in the snow, we're embracing it. It's Maine, it's cold, it can be miserable if you want it to be, but there's so much we can do. So I do encourage you that if that's something that interests you at all, go online, come check it out. Like I said, you saw those donuts being made. You're gonna have one of those. You're gonna have some hot apple cider, get a tree, make this Christmas memory, not just going to Target and picking up a plastic tree. This is what Maine is about. It's about that endurance. You know, it's not that, well, we planted trees and everything went fantastic. No, it was that let's overcome that challenge and let's not give up, and let's keep our family close, and let's reach out to the community, guys. And I'm so excited.
Yay.
I love it so much.
Good. Well, we're excited too, and we love having guests come, and we love sharing our farm.
Perfect. Well, thank you
Okay.
so much, Patty.
Oh, you're welcome, Jeremy. Nice to talk to you.
All right.